Well, the results are out, and West Midlands Travel can finally look back and examine its performance in 1993, its first full year as an employee-owned company. Now, during the next few minutes, we're going to be taking a look at exactly what those figures mean, and I'll be getting opinions from a financial expert and from some of the company employees themselves. This is a typical bus stop on one of West Midlands Travel's busiest routes. Until a few years ago, the only buses that used this route were the company's own. These days, it's a very different story. At the time of deregulation in 1986, the West Midlands was served by just 6 operators. Today, that number has risen to 45. It's not just enough to hope that passengers will stay with West Midlands Travel. The company is faced with a serious threat from other bus operators, and the facts speak for themselves. In total, rival operators have taken £12 million in the last 12 months, with £3 million alone going to a single operator, and their numbers are increasing daily. Not only is competition hotting up, but they're wooing passengers away with cheaper fares, sometimes up to 20 pence lower than ours. So how can they do this? Well, basically they operate cheap buses from cheap premises, so their costs are lower. With lower costs, they're able to offer lower fares. Unlike West Midlands Travel, our rivals in the main only operate during peak periods, creaming off passengers at the busiest times and on the busiest routes. On average, we're on the road twice as long as our rivals, but that's at a price. Because we're on the road longer, our operating costs are higher, and the limited service offered by our rivals helps them keep their costs nailed down and their profits up. So some of our rivals operate from shoddy premises with shoddy buses and often offer a shoddy service. Now that's in complete contrast to the way West Midlands Travel operates. Here at Perry Bar Garage, it's a far cry from the facilities of any rival operator. In fact, Perry Bar is one of 4 WMT garages to have been awarded a British Standard mark of total quality. And it's easy to see why. Competition is certainly a threat. It's forcing the pace of change. It's making West Midlands Travel even more efficient and more aggressively commercial. But only West Midlands Travel can offer a bus service that really meets the needs of its passengers. But it's not just rival operators who are cutting into the company's profits. Centro has slashed £3 million off OAP concessionary passes. They may even phase them out altogether. Concessionary travel is worth £40 million a year to West Midlands Travel, and that's money that the company can't afford to lose. Centro's own range of bus passes means more lost income. A further £1.7 million off sales of West Midlands Travel's club cards and travel cards. It's against this background of increasing competition and cuts in revenue that the employee-owned West Midlands Travel has come through its first full trading year. So what kind of year has it been for the company? Well, with me to discuss the company's performance is John Hawksley, Senior Partner at accountants Coopers & Lybrand. John, it was you who scrutinised the company prior to the buyout, and of course it was on your advice that the banks lent the money for it. Now, has the company lived up to your expectations?
The company has achieved its profit target and its loan repayments are on schedule. In fact, it's £2 million ahead. If you look at the profit and loss account, it shows a pre-tax profit of £9.6 million. Considering all the changes and the pressures the company's had to face, I think that's a pretty good performance. It's not been easy. It's been a tough year. A lot of tough decisions have had to be made. That's what facing open and increasing competition is all about. To be successful, the company has to take tough decisions.
Well, 9.6 million sounds like a very good sum, but is it actually enough?
That amounts to about 6.5% on turnover. There are other bus companies which are achieving about 9.2%. Indeed, I understand that Northampton has achieved 20% in the past, so it's probably not enough.
So what kind of figure should we be aiming for?
I think West Midlands Travel should be looking for about 20 million. I know that sounds an awful lot, but we need to have a healthy profit. Soon the company will need to buy some more buses, and if it's going to buy, say, 100 buses, that's going to cost it £11 million. So if you add that to the 42 million, which it needs to repay its debts, that probably amounts to about 20 million a year. On top of that, the company has to maintain the confidence of its suppliers in order to obtain credit to buy fuel, parts, etc. So it's obviously important to make a very healthy profit. In addition to that, obviously it has to maintain its garages and so on. So 20 million a year is probably about the right level.
Now, I understand that the company has recently made a profit-related payment to its employees. Now, do you approve of that approach?
Yes, I do. I think it's really important that the employees should share in the success and, indeed, the profits of the company.
Well, for the moment, thank you very much, John. Well, that's the view from the bank's advisors. Now, what about the employees?
Basically, I think we're up against companies that are just simply there to make as much profit as possible, as opposed to West Midlands Travel, I think, who are taking a more sensible approach in as much as balancing the need to make a profit and also including a good level of customer service.
I think the employee buyout was a good thing, or the best thing. If it hadn't been for that, we could have been sold off, split up.
There's a lot of competition, but, you know, we try to set standards and the public like that.
I think the company's doing fantastically.
I think it's very important to be a shareholder because you feel more part of the company and you show more interest in the company.
I think with the improvements made and the more commercial awareness, West Midlands Travel will become one of the best bus companies in the country.
I think the company's doing very well considering the present climate.
Being a shareholder, yes, it has benefited me directly, knowing that I own some part of a company that is doing brilliantly.
Well, the competition that operates on our routes, I don't think very much of them. Their buses are not very clean, black smoke coming out of them all the while. They don't run at the proper timetables. They get up to all kinds of unprofessional driving habits, which can be dangerous at times. And personally, I believe in competition if it's fair, but of what I've seen of it in the bus industry, it's totally unfair.
Well, I've actually been with the company now about 2.5 months. I've actually enjoyed every moment that I've been here. It was hard at first because most of the drivers are older than me and they don't like taking orders sort of off a younger person. But I believe I'm looking forward to a good career later on in life with the company.
The company is definitely going forward very positively. As a professional run company, we are coping with lots of changes that's been happening recently, which can only be for the better and the betterment of the company. We're all coping, and the system is working very well at the moment.
I think with the competition that the company's had, I think they've done really well.
I believe the future of the company is very good. I believe they've got the right management, and I believe also we've got the right management, the right attitude to make a success of this company.
Base 5750, we achieved that, and it gives the public an assurance that we're working to a set standard on maintaining the buses.
The ESOP was a very good idea. It is very good for the staff, and you get a chance to own your own company.
Well, to be a shareholder of the company is a great ambition to anybody that works for the company. It feels as though you're part of the company and have a few signs in the running of the company.
Well, me personally, I don't feel that any competition can compete with us, really. Most of them are cowboy outfits, and with our finesse and expertise, there should be nobody beat us.
So, not a bad start for the company, but as we've heard, there's still plenty to do in the future. However, there have been some significant achievements over the last 12 months. The British Standard Quality Award, BS 5750, has been achieved by 4 units, and that's a major step forward. The award was made at a special presentation at the end of last year. Roger Freeman, the Minister of Transport, officiated at the ceremony, showing the importance given to the provision of a quality public transport service. Well, with me now is Roger Edwards, who's the Chief Engineer. Roger, your team played a major part in achieving BS 5750, but quality is a very difficult thing to define, isn't it? What exactly is the British Standards Institute looking for when they make this award?
Well, BS 5750 covers a number of areas, but basically it's an assurance that the quality of our engineering practices and procedures are meeting the standards that the Institute set. And of course it's proof that we've now got quality engineering and business practices which provide us with a very firm foundation to improve performance and, of course, customer satisfaction.
Thank you very much indeed, Roger.
Thank you.
Well, earlier I spoke to Bill Jordan, President of the AEEU, and I asked him whether he thought that West Midlands Travel could be justifiably proud of its achievement and how the members felt.
Our union is proud to have been associated with a venture that has seen our members invest their faith and their hard work in creating one of Britain's best transport companies. That success has come from a policy of raising the level of skills of the whole workforce and the quality of the work that's been done. The award of the BS 5750 has been a tribute to a team effort, a magnificent team effort by all concerned.
Other major achievements include the new stores at Walsall, the unit repair centre at Adderley Street, and Perry Barr's new bus wash and fuelling facility. But it hasn't always been that way. A public inquiry just over a year ago was a very testing time for the company. Well, with me now is Peter Snape, MP for West Bromwich East and a non-executive director of West Midlands Travel. Well, Peter, from the headlines we've just seen, there's been quite a turnaround from severe criticism in 1992 to the highest praise in just over a year.
Yes, indeed. The Traffic Commissioner back in October 1992 was very critical of the company's engineering practices. The fact that there's been such a fundamental review of those practices has meant such a terrific turnaround that the Traffic Commissioner has showered high praise indeed. I think that reflects great credit on everyone concerned in the company. That the company's practices are now to be used as a benchmark against which the competition countrywide will be judged.
Peter, thank you very much indeed. The redevelopment of Park Lane Garage in Wolverhampton is a further achievement and represents a £1 million investment in the company's future. The improved facilities will hold 200 buses and help towards providing a more efficient service in the busy Wolverhampton area. And at Poole Meadow in Coventry, WMT have worked with Centro to help further improve facilities for passengers. And £3 million have been invested in Band 3 radios for buses, which gives greater security for our drivers and improved control of services for our passengers. So coming back to you, John, we've dealt with the results of the first full year of trading. Now, I understand the company's shares have been valued at 50p.
That's right, Kay. That's a reasonable value. Some of the employees have up to 8,000 shares, which makes the shares worth about £4,000. That's not bad for 2 years. And if the company continues to achieve its plans, they should increase in the future.
But they can't actually sell them, can they?
No, this is a major drawback for the company and the employees. The employees can only sell them when they leave the company, and West Midlands Travel has to buy them back.
So obviously WMT has to make sure it's got enough cash to be able to do that. Now, couldn't that present a problem?
Yes, it will affect the company's cash flow because it needs to have enough cash in the bank to buy the shares in. If, for example, the company bought all the shares, it would cost them around £50 million.
Well, how do other companies deal with this?
Other companies in a similar position to West Midlands Travel would seek a listing on the stock exchange. You may have seen that Badger Line have done it recently.
Is this an option for WMT?
Yes, I believe it is, providing we can convince enough potential investors to put their money into West Midlands Travel. In addition to the employees being able to buy and sell their own shares, there are a number of advantages. will enable the company to raise money to buy capital items, to buy other bus companies, to expand into other areas. And of course it will avoid West Midlands Travel having to retain money to buy in the shares themselves. But the most important thing is that the employees will be able to buy them and sell their own shares without leaving the company.
So West Midlands Travel shares are really worth having?
Yes, I certainly believe so.
Well, thank you very much, John. Everyone in West Midlands Travel has played a part in the company's first-year success. With competition on the increase and revenue down in other important areas, the company has proved that it can still be profitable and offer the kind of bus service its passengers demand. The target for the future is even greater profitability, and that's something that everyone can share in.